If headlines turn hostile overnight, 3 ETFs with a track record of outperforming in conflict-driven markets could be flashing green by dawn. Miss them, and you risk missing the next major move. Let's tighten the defenses on your portfolio. ETF number 3 is a sleeper pick most analysts overlook. Stick around and decide if it belongs in your allocation. History is clear. When conflict erupts, energy prices surge, gold firms, and defense spending accelerates. In 1973, oil prices quadrupled. When Russia crossed into Ukraine in early 2022, XLE rose 64%, while the S&P 500 fell 19%. And as of 9 a.m. Eastern on June 20th, 2025, ceasefire talks remain stalled after overnight rocket fire. This is the context behind our 3 ETF playbook. A 48-hour closure of the Strait of Hormuz could restrict 20% of global crude flows. Historically, that's added $5 to $10 per barrel daily. XLE, whose top holdings include ExxonMobil and Chevron, returned 64% during the 2022 Ukraine conflict period, versus a negative 19% S&P 500. Year-to-date, plus 1.7%. Dividend yield, 3.4%. Expense ratio, 0.08%. It underperforms if OPEC floods the market, but historically, geopolitical shocks have outweighed oversupply in 8 of the last 10 events. If this helped you see energy moves with sharper context, tap the like button so the algorithm spreads the word. Everyone says war tanks the market, but the numbers don't always agree. Take a breath. We're shifting to the metal that rises when fear does. Gold doesn't just shine in fear, it shines in dislocation. GLD tracks vaulted bullion and rose 10% in weeks when spot gold breached $2,000 in March 2022. Year-to-date return, plus 26.6%. 12-month, plus 45%. Expense ratio, 0.40%. It's taxed as a collectible, something most don't realize. Rising rates can weigh on it, but since 2000, central banks have only added to reserves during live conflict. That's not flight, it's strategy. The third play isn't oil or gold, it's aerospace and defense. ITA tracks firms like Lockheed Martin, RTX, and Boeing, with 90% of its holdings in US prime contractors. It climbed 14% in the 90 days leading up to the last US election, before any active conflict. YTD, plus 26%, 12-month return, plus 35%. Expense ratio, 0.40%. Defense budgets rarely reverse, regardless of election outcome. And in uncertain cycles, hard power capabilities tend to attract steady capital. No single fund is a fix-all. Here's what to watch. XLE can fall if global supply expands. GLD may dip if real interest rates spike. ITA could lag under sudden diplomatic breakthroughs. Consider position sizing under 10% each, or use exit rules to swap panic for preparation. Which of these 3 ETFs feels most aligned with your current risk outlook? And how are you thinking about timing your entry? Let me know below. I read every insight. Full data sources and performance breakdowns are in the pinned post. If you value forward-looking market analysis, especially during global uncertainty, subscribe and turn on alerts. These insights come fast, and early positioning matters. Past returns never guarantee future results, and conflict timing is impossible. But knowing which assets tend to cushion volatility gives you optionality, not certainty. Rewind if you missed one, Or share this with a friend who thinks markets always crash in a crisis. This content is for educational purposes only and not financial advice. I'm not a licensed investment advisor and receive no compensation from the ETFs discussed. Data shown is as of June 20th, 2025, from public sources believed accurate. Past results don't guarantee future performance. Always consult a qualified professional.